Hey, good morning. This is Kerry with Ozark Christian Church. Here we are, part 3 of a series we're doing that started with the Beatitudes. And we're going to move through Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. This is where it gets real. Jesus was talking and teaching, and a lot of what he was teaching was countercultural to his day. But as we get into it, we're going to see that a lot of it is countercultural to what we see in America today. So we're in Matthew chapter 5. Our first video, we talked about the Beatitudes, chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. The second video we did was verses 13 through 16 in chapter 5. And we're going to now get to 17, 18, 19, and 20. And I'm recording this the last day of November. So for us believers as Christians, we're getting ready to go into the Advent season. So this is kind of awesome the way this is planned out. But I want to read these verses, share a few thoughts, because honestly, I want these videos, I want this to be a time for you to reflect. What are these scriptures saying to you and to me? So let's get right into it. Verse 17 of chapter 5 in Matthew. Do not think that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For assuredly I say to you, till heaven and earth shall pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till it's all fulfilled. Little reverse psychology here. Jesus came to fulfill the law. And then he says, for assuredly I say to you, till heaven and earth shall pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till it is all fulfilled. But yet earlier Jesus said he did fulfill it. Think about that. Verse 19, this is where it gets rough. Whoever therefore breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches men so shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does and teaches them, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So here we get in this comparison, if you will. So let's read it again a little bit slower. Whoever, anybody, therefore breaks one of the least of these commandments, if we break one, listen to this, and teaches men or women to this teaching or showing this example, shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because too many times we say, okay, well, this sin's not good. So we isolate these people, but then we justify our own sin. But now, I love the message of Jesus. It's full of grace because he says this. But whoever does and teaches them, whoever does and teaches them. This is where it flip-flops. He's not focusing on what you didn't do. He's now focusing on what you do. And whoever does and teaches them, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. If you break one law, and yet you're comparing yourself to other people, you're no better off. Verse 20, for I say to you, that unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Read that again, verse 20. For I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. This is where you got to take all of Scripture and not just parts of Scripture. And I love how people do this. So first he's saying he has fulfilled the law. And then he's talking about if we break one law, we've broken them all, so to speak. But if we live out this life, and it's all about what Jesus does, and we're going to get into this in the next few chapters and verses. And then he's talking about righteousness. Well, if you're going to compare your righteousness to others, you better be better than that person. But that is not what God's grace is all about, is it? So this is where he gets to talking to people about their arguments, about what they say they believe. And so I want to encourage you, one, to understand, and we're getting ready to celebrate the birth of Jesus, that he came and he fulfilled the law. There were gaps in the law, but he brought them together. But I also want you to know, too many times we compare ourselves with others. And if we're going to do that, we better be better than them. But then he reminds us, if you broke one, you're just as guilty. My prayer for you is that you're not worrying about what this group does or what that group does, but use the Bible as a mirror. Let it speak to your heart, not to give you justification to judge others, but to give you a glimpse of yourself. Wow. So I want to wish you a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Remember, Jesus came to fulfill the law as we celebrate his birth. Let's focus on what he did and not what we do, because it's all about him anyways. This is Kerry with Ozark Christian Church, and we'll see you later.